This video is going to address the statement, I have continued to make friends in recent years, and the possible answers to that. We're going to talk about the relevance of this statement today. Hi, I'm Dr. Brent Van Hook, Director of Shepherd's Fold Ministries. The relevance of this statement and its possible answers relate to an extensive research project that we conducted and commissioned in 2019. This study looked at the predictors of well-being among retirement age preachers and missionaries from over 12 denominations. However, since conducting that study, we have found that the study correlates well to all believers of all ages who want to have a lifelong kingdom impact, realizing that our well being is part of that offering to God. As we look at this question, I want to bring out a couple points and explain it to you here about what we've discovered through the research project. The statement, once again, is I've continued to make friends in recent years. In quick summary, we can say that 4% of those who were part of the research project chose strongly disagree. 10% said somewhat disagree. 41% said somewhat agree. 45% said strongly agree. Now, what is the relevance of this statement and those possible answers? The relevance is this, that as part of the study, there were several questions early on in the survey in which the statisticians were able to come to a numerical value for each participant that helped understand how well each participant was doing overall in their life, their overall well-being. So every single one of the participants had a numerical score for that. Then, as we went through the research project, the statisticians then took all those who answered the questions a certain way and averaged their well-being. So, for example, and then I'll may say this too. What I have done here is I have taken the numerical values, and you see there are 5 lines per light of the traffic light that I have here. These represent numbers that represent how people were doing in their overall well-being. Red means hold on, alert, something is out of line, things are not going well. Green means it's great. So I've transferred that to this traffic light symbol to help me see it in graphic terms. So let me summarize the well-being of all those who answered in the different possible answers for this statement. So for example, those who said they strongly disagree regarding continuing to make friends in recent years, you can see they're over. It just so happens that their overall well-being was very, very poor, nearly the worst numerical possibility of what could be charted in the study that we had. Those who somewhat disagreed still were not doing very well, although there was some improvement in their overall well-being. If they could get to a point of agreeing with this statement, it moved, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines down to a place of on the low edge of the yield sign. And then those who strongly agreed, yet more improvement there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, 5 out of 15. That's a huge leap of overall improvement among those who answered and strongly agree. So our contention is this, and especially evident on a question or a statement like this in the possible answers, that if there could be any form of improvement, no matter where you are on this chart, unless you're down here, if there could be any form of improvement regarding making friends now, that the statistics say, you'll see an overall significant improvement in your overall well-being. All of life will be a little bit stronger because this element, having friends that are current and up-to-date, new friends today, impacts a person's overall well-being. So let's talk about this and the possible ways we can move forward. We at Shepherd's Fold have a couple beliefs. One is this, that we all have something to share. As each person has some strengths that are worth sharing with others. And so I would say among those who, if you answered strongly agree to continue to make friends in recent years, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to reflect on What are the values, systems, and habits that you have that have allowed you to continue to make friends in recent years? And then I'd like for you to share that because this is a strength of yours. If you'll email me, please, at brent@shepherdsfoldministries.com, I would love to know your reflections on the strength that this is in your life. Secondly, we all have something to learn. And I want to say this that our study, and hopefully through this exam, this quiz that we gave you, can help identify if there was one area that could be addressed in your life that is not a strength yet, and it could be addressed and it would make a huge difference. Would you address it? In fact, we're going to offer a first step that you can take. It takes less than 30 minutes to take this first step, and we believe it can make a big impact. In fact, a disproportionate blessing. I'm going to use that phrase, a disproportionate blessing for the time you put in is going to make a huge difference. So, once again, if your answers were anywhere other than strongly agree, our statistics say that your overall well being will be improved if you just get a little bit better. If you somewhat disagree with that statement, if we could work on this, for example, if we could work on this to make stronger friends in today, and so even if we could just say we somewhat agree, it's going to impact overall well being of your life, which in turn can help us serve the Lord with greater strength, and perhaps God can use our lives to make a even bigger difference in our world through us. So let me give you a couple. Well, our first step here. I have available for you a sermon that talks about godly friendships. It's about a 20-minute sermon. Then I have a variety of brief articles about how to make friends. Now, the reason we bring this up, it seems like for all of us, the younger we are, the easier it is to make friends. And the older we get, uh, things start to develop in our social status in such a way that it's not quite just automatic anymore, to where even people who were extroverted and had hundreds of friends earlier in their life almost need a refresher course. So that's some of the articles that you have there. Now, that's for everyone. But let me speak just a moment to clergy, pastors, church staff, or missionaries. Uh, Continuing to make friends needs to be, in some ways, a learned habit as we progress in our lives, because a congregation is an automatic source of connection with so many people. Our mission field is such an automatic connection with people, such that it could be possible to be tempted to not make intentional efforts to improve the number of friends we have and the number of people that we connect with in a friendship format. So, if you are clergy, I want to say that we have a special heart for you and would love to see God work in this area of your life to improve it so that we are continually making new friends in and beyond the mission field in which we serve or the church in which we serve. So, if you'd like to give 30 minutes to listening to that sermon and pick out a couple of the articles, I believe that then God will use that and that you will see some recognizable difference in your overall well being when it comes to our living today, and in turn, perhaps make a difference in how God can take your life and and move it forward in a way that continually impacts others for Him and His kingdom.